guys, welcome back to Ashark Books. So today I'm gonna do my wrap up for the first half of September. So just a quick note, I think I'm actually gonna turn my wrap ups into kind of more like a recent reads type of video. I know a lot of people do recent reads and I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna start doing. It's basically gonna be the same thing. I still am gonna probably have like 2 videos a month with wrap-ups like I do now, where I do like one at the middle and one at the end. The only difference is I kind of want the freedom, which basically anytime I finish 4 books, I'm going to do a recent reads video. So I just think 4 or 5 is a good number to talk about with you guys. That way I can kind of go into more detail, give my thoughts, all that jazz, rather than being kind of like tied down to I have to do it in the middle of the month, because sometimes in the middle of the month I've read a bunch of books and sometimes in the middle of the month I've read 2. So I just think I'm going to turn it into that. So if you see a title pop up in your feed or whatever that says like recent reads, that's still my wrap up. It's just probably going to be a little bit change of like a name, but that's kind of it. Just wanted to throw that out there for you. But now on to the books. So the first book I read in September was called Catching Him, and it was by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This is part of her new series. I think it's like the Catching Him series. As you know, if you've watched my videos before, I am a huge fan of Aurora's books, and they just leave me feeling so happy. Like, that's the best way to describe them. They're contemporary romance. I think they're a really good blend of like fluffy meets a little bit of angst or a little bit of drama, but not too much. You always get your HEA, and she writes the best alpha males. If you want a good alpha guy, check out her books. If you don't like alpha males, they may not be for you, because I think to me that's definitely how they read, but she does a really good job of giving you an alpha male without giving you a jerk. So there's a fine line, and I think she does well. So in Catching Him, we have our 2 main characters, and basically they meet because our heroine's cat, Mouse, there's really cute animals in this book, gets out, runs over to the hero's house, and gets in through a window, and she has to like sneak in to get him out and retrieve him, which basically leads to the cutest like meet cute ever. And the story kind of starts from there. Hero has a really cute, well, I guess you wouldn't say, yeah, he's still cute, a really big dog. And I just love the animals in this. That they were a big part of it. Overall, I just thought it was a really, really adorable book, a really good contemporary romance. And another thing I really enjoyed about this book, it was that our hero and our heroine were both in their early to mid 30s. Because it's nothing against reading about younger people falling in love, but I just think it's refreshing to have 2 characters that were a little bit older and they're finding their person. And it's not even old, but you know what I mean. They're not 20. So I really like that. You know, they have their work, they have their life, like our heroine owns her own house. I thought that was just a really kind of bonus aspect to the book, and I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend any of Aurora's books. The next book I read was The Blood Spell by CJ Redwine. This is a YA, I'm probably blinding you because it's kind of sparkly, plus it's a library edition. I did get it from my library. But this is a YA fantasy, but I definitely wouldn't say it's like a high fantasy. It is a retelling of Cinderella. And all these books are basically in her Ravenspire series, and this is not the first one because it's me. It's book 4. But this is just the one that called to me, so I picked it up, but I don't think you really need to read the rest of the series. In this case, it's not like a traditional fantasy series where you have to read them because they all like interlock. Basically, there's just a few characters that pop up here or there, but other than that, you're good to go. In this book, we have our main character, Blue Delacour, and she is basically working in the alchemy shop that her father owns, and she's a very good like alchemist, and she's making, you know, chemistry things and making things into gold, or attempting to make things into gold. In this world, there is magic, but it's been banned for the past about 10 years because 10 years ago, something very bad happened that had to do with magic. So since then, there's basically just like a no magic rule. Blue does have magic, and she kind of has to hide that and that part of her life from pretty much everyone because there's really bad repercussions. So our other main character is Prince Kellen, who is the crown prince, and him and Blue have a very like kind of hate to love situation going on. Blue's family and the royal family have known each other for a really long time because they were friends from when they were younger. Blue and Kellen have known each other a really long time, and there's a lot of like animosity and bickering, and I loved it. I just thought they were really well developed characters as well. And in this, basically one of the kind of plots that's going on is that Kellen is supposed to find a wife from one of the head families. He's supposed to marry one of the girls, but something is happening to the girls. So they're trying to kind of find out what it is. Does it have anything to do with what happened 10 years ago, or is it something else? There's honestly a couple different plot lines through this book that kind of weave together. So I'll let you read that yourself, but I really enjoyed it. If you want a YA that's fantasy and it has fairy tale aspects and a really cute romance in it, I would recommend it. It was light, it was fun. It wasn't like too serious like some fantasy can be, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Also, the audiobook is really good because I did read about half of it on the audiobook. The next book I read was Unlocked by Courtney Milan, and this is a novella, a historical romance novella, and I picked this up because I saw Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers talking about it, and it just sounded really like right up my alley, so I picked it up. And I have only read novellas from Courtney Milan for some very odd reason, but I need to fix that because I have loved all of her novellas. So this is kind of a hate to love / bully romance, and sometimes those work for me and sometimes they don't. I was really happy that this one did work for me, and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. In this book, basically our heroine is 29 and she's kind of resigned herself to being a spinster. She's also been mercilessly teased and just had the worst things said about her and done to her over the past 10 years by a certain group of people within society. One of those ringleaders of that group is our hero, and he did and said some awful things, but he also left a long time ago to go adventure and climb mountains and do all this other stuff, and he, at the beginning of the book, comes back. And obviously our heroine is not happy about that because she thinks it's just going to make her life even worse. But you kind of find out what happened in the past, what's happening in the present, what made him leave. You also get his perspective, so I think that was really helpful and was part of why you forgive him and why you kind of are okay with what's going on, kind of inside his head. So I just really enjoyed it. I thought that the hero had a good grovel, and I thought that by the end, I thought he deserved the heroine, and she also made him wait. It was more realistic than some books where, you know, something bad happens and they forgive them within like a week. It's just not realistic, and that didn't happen. I just thought it was really well done. It was really well done, and I loved that it was novella length. It was quick, it was easy, it was fun, and I thought it was really well developed. It had a really good story arc, and if you're looking for something kind of quick but really fun and juicy, I would definitely recommend. The last book I'm going to talk about is Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 2 in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. So I can't say like everything about this because it is a second book in a series, but basically this follows our 2 main characters from the first book, Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell, as they are on a train on the way to a trip to Romania to attend a medical school there. And this medical school is going to be in the castle in the middle of the mountains that was home of Vlad the Impaler, or Dracula. So at the beginning of the book, someone was murdered, and it's very reminiscent of the people who were murdered a long time ago by Vlad the Impaler. So people are losing their marbles and they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. This book was so atmospheric and creepy. There is a castle, there are like weird sounds going on, there are creepy tunnels, there's just so much atmosphere that I thought was really well done because, let me tell you, I am a baby, so keep that in mind. Like, I'm a total wuss with this kind of stuff, but I had to put this book down when I was reading it at night and pick it up in the daylight because I was really creeped out. So this time of year, I think it's perfect though if you want something a little creepy. I would say you do need to read the first book though. Read Stalking Jack the Ripper first, just because it introduces the characters. I think you'll be a little bit lost character-wise if you don't, because this picks up only like a couple weeks after that. Also, Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell, I love them. If you love banter and hilarity and just 2 characters that you know are meant to be together, but there's that like angst and that pull and that push, this is perfect. Like, I love finding a good like young adult romance or a young adult book with a romance in it that I think is really well done, and it's not super fast. It's definitely slow paced and it makes you wait for it, and I am here for that ride. So I loved it. I give it 5 stars, and the 4th and final book just came out, so I'm actually currently reading the 3rd book in the series, and I'm for sure gonna finish the 4th and the end of the series because I loved it. Alright guys, so those are the 4 books that I read for the first half of September, or my recent reads. Let me know if you've read any of these. If you have, what are your thoughts? Or if you haven't, are you interested in any of them? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!